Hello and welcome to this, our seventh in the series of the Mystic Bible as we approach Easter God and open up to our spiritual side. And we finished last time with the idea of safe space, finding somewhere where we feel comfortable, because after all of this tends to make us feel quite vulnerable. What do other people think? What do we even think? And how do we engage with those great forces around us that affect us emotionally and spiritually? Having chosen a safe space, of course, the practicality then is, what are we going to do? Well, the image in front of us, I'm not sure if it helps directly, but it certainly inspired me to think. The image from this 500-year-old Bible, these wonderfully detailed images, comes from the story of Jacob and his son Simeon, one of the leaders of the 12 tribes. Although at this stage he is actually out of favor with his father because he has used his sword violently. He is out of his father's counsel, or his father no longer seeks his counsel. And around his feet you can see the dead figures, and including a child or an angel. It's difficult to tell. The image might imply a supernatural figure or a child, the death of innocence. So he's undertaken some cruel acts, but still the figure is also portrayed as being a heroic figure in this picture, with the shield and the sword, a magnificent person. And also in the background you see a very pastoral scene. Now, this gives us, like we've said before, in the opening up of our minds to these mystical aspects, this gives us a far greater depth. Is there the supernatural here? What's that in the background? Is that about Simeon's future? He's made choices and he's decided to do something, and in this case, probably a wrong choice. But it's a key message for us in terms of our engagement, is that we need to make a decision. Not only do we need to choose where we want to do these things. Is it the mosque? Is it the temple? Is it here in a church? Where do you want to do these things? Is it halfway up a mountain? Is it on a boat on a river? Where do you find peace? Where do you find that you have that place of safety? The next question then, of course, is what do you do? Because there are wrong and right choices in life, as Simeon is proving to us. And making those choices are about where you feel comfortable still. What is an activity which helps you to both reason and switch off? The reasoning comes first. Why are we doing this? We're studying this Bible, we're approaching Easter, we're thinking about these complex issues. However, at some point we have to switch off and we have to do. Being spiritual, seeking the spiritual, the mystical and supernatural aspects of Christianity are quite often more about physicality than they are about mentality, or more about what we do than they are about what's happening inside. Why? Because at certain points we have to let go and let God happen to us. So the reason has to go out the window and we have to let God overwhelm us in whatever way we want that to happen. It's our choice. But do we want that to happen while we're sculpting? Does that help us switch off? Do we switch off when we paint? Do we switch off when we write? Do we switch off when we walk? So that was simply my thought today, to think about where you find comfortable to seek God, and what are you doing in that place? What would you like to do in that place? What makes seeking God a comfortable and beautiful experience? So more of that tomorrow. Thank you for listening, and just let's have a little figure out as to what we do next.